As a park ranger, I've seen many things I've been forbidden to share, but I can't take it any longer. Today, I break the chains that bind me, for there's a tale that must be told. A tale that shatters the tranquil facade of the natural world and sends shockwaves through the very essence of our existence. Gather close, dear listeners, as I unleash the forbidden whispers that have haunted me for far too long. A few years ago, I was working a routine shift on a moonless night. The air was thick with an eerie stillness. I found myself deep in the heart of the forest, miles away from any signs of civilization. The darkness closed in around me, as if the trees themselves were conspiring against my presence. Yet I pressed on, determined to complete my rounds. Around midnight, I reached an isolated clearing. The surrounding trees stood tall and imposing, casting long shadows that seemed to dance in the flickering beam of my flashlight. It was here that I first felt an inexplicable sense of dread creeping up my spine. The woods had turned eerily silent, devoid of even the faintest rustle of leaves. As I continued my patrol, an unsettling sensation washed over me. It felt as if unseen eyes were watching my every move. I couldn't shake the feeling that I was trespassing in a domain not meant for human presence. Every step I took echoed with a weighty solemnity, intensifying the sense of foreboding that gripped me. Suddenly, a rustling sound emanated from the underbrush nearby. My heart skipped a beat and I strained my ears to catch any further movement. The stillness returned, leaving me on edge. I dismissed it as an animal scurrying away, hoping to calm my racing thoughts. But then a low, guttural growl reverberated through the darkness. It sent shivers down my spine, freezing me in place. The sound seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere at once, as if some unseen creature lurked in the shadows, taunting me. Fear gripped me like a vice, but I knew I had to continue my patrol. I couldn't let my imagination run wild. Yet the more I tried to rationalize the situation, the more the forest seemed to push back, whispering its own malevolent secrets. Time lost its meaning as I ventured deeper into the woods. The oppressive darkness threatened to consume me, and an unnatural chill seemed to seep into my bones. Every step forward became a struggle, as if an invisible force sought to keep me from discovering what lay hidden in this forbidden realm. Then, I heard it. A voice. Soft at first, like a distant whisper carried by the wind. But it grew louder, more insistent. It was a voice unlike anything I had ever heard, a chilling blend of agony and longing. I couldn't make out the words, but the anguish it conveyed sent shivers down my spine. Driven by curiosity mixed with an ever-growing dread, I followed the voice. Each step felt heavier than the last, as if the very ground conspired against me. The path twisted and turned, leading me deeper into an impenetrable darkness. Finally, I arrived at a small clearing, bathed in an ethereal glow. What I witnessed there defied all explanation. Shadows danced in a macabre ritual, swirling and merging into a grotesque figure. It stood before me, towering and otherworldly. Its eyes glowed with an unholy light, piercing through the darkness and locking onto mine. I felt a force pulling at my soul, drawing me closer to this abomination. Panic coursed through my veins as I realized I had stumbled upon something beyond human comprehension. With every ounce of strength left, I tore myself away and stumbled back into the night, my mind filled with unspeakable terror. As I retreated from the clearing, my heart pounding in my chest, the grip of fear tightened around me like a vice. It was as if the very fabric of reality had been distorted in that accursed place. The air turned colder, biting into my skin like icy tendrils, and a thick fog rolled in, obscuring my vision. The forest, once familiar and welcoming, now felt like a labyrinth of malevolence. Every step I took was a struggle, as if an invisible force tugged at my feet, urging me to return to the horror I had just witnessed. The whispers that had haunted me earlier grew louder, echoing in my ears, tempting me to succumb to the unknown. But something deep within me fought against it, an instinctual survival instinct that refused to let me become entangled in whatever diabolical forces lurked in those woods. Time seemed to stretch and distort, as if the night itself had taken on a life of its own. Shadows danced and swirled, their movements mocking and taunting me. I dared not look back, fearing what I might see. Instead, I stumbled blindly through the underbrush, branches clawing at my clothes, as if the forest itself sought to keep its dark secrets hidden. My mind was a whirlwind of conflicting emotions, fear, confusion, and a gnawing curiosity that pushed me to understand the nature of the unspeakable entity I had encountered. But even as my thoughts raced, an overwhelming sense of danger washed over me, urging me to flee. Deep down, I knew that to linger any longer in that accursed place would mean my doom. With each step, the force that had drawn me closer to that abomination seemed to weaken, as if it couldn't reach beyond a certain threshold. The fog gradually lifted and the temperature returned to normal, but my unease lingered, a nagging reminder of the horrors I had witnessed. The forest had changed, its serenity shattered, and I couldn't shake the feeling that its very essence had been tainted by an ancient and malevolent presence. Finally, I burst through the tree line, stumbling into the open, moonlit clearing. Gasping for breath, I collapsed onto the ground, my body shaking with a mixture of exhaustion and fear. The distant sounds of nocturnal creatures seemed to mock me, their calls filled with an eerie resonance. I dared not look back, for I feared that if I did, I would see those glowing eyes once more, piercing through the darkness, forever etched in my memory. As I lay there, my mind slowly pieced together the fragments of what had occurred. The force that had pulled at my soul, drawing me closer to that abomination, had been an insidious temptation, a lure crafted to ensnare the unwary. It was an encounter that defied all logic, a glimpse into a realm beyond our comprehension, where the laws of nature ceased to exist. That night, I stumbled back into the safety of civilization, but the terror I had experienced would forever haunt my dreams. I've spent countless sleepless nights tormented by questions that have no answers. What was that abomination? What dark forces dwell within the depths of those woods? And how many others have unwittingly crossed paths with the unimaginable? If you venture into the depths of the wilderness, be cautious and trust your instincts. For there are things out there that defy explanation, lurking just beyond our perception, waiting for their moment to ensnare the unsuspecting. Remember my story, dear readers, and may it serve as a cautionary tale. Let the wilderness be a realm of wonder and awe, but never forget the unspeakable horrors that may lie hidden within its darkest corners. To this day, I bear the scars of that encounter, etched into my very being. I share this story not to frighten or entertain, but to warn others who might venture into the wilderness. There are forces lurking in the darkness, unseen and unimaginable, waiting to ensnare the unwary. Trust your instincts, for sometimes it is wiser to avoid the unknown than to face the unspeakable horrors that lie within. Stay safe out there, my friends, and may you never encounter what I faced in the heart of the wilderness.
I'm Sheila, and I am a park ranger in Yosemite. Over the years, my patrols have exposed me to numerous strange occurrences that defy rational explanation. Yet there's one unbelievable incident that has weighed on my soul, demanding to be shared. The burden of secrecy has become too heavy to bear, for it has come to a point where I can't go on living like this. It was a crisp autumn day, the air saturated with the rich scent of pine and the rustling of leaves beneath my boots. I had embarked on a routine patrol, meandering through the secluded woods that held their own secrets. The towering trees swayed in harmony, whispering ancient tales to those who would listen. As I walked deeper into the heart of the wilderness, a sense of anticipation coursed through me, as if nature herself held her breath, waiting for the unveiling of some hidden truth. Suddenly, a peculiar stillness fell upon the forest, as if time itself had paused. The usual chorus of chirping birds and scampering animals ceased abruptly, leaving behind an eerie silence. My instincts heightened, and a shiver crept down my spine. Something was amiss, and I could feel it in my bones. As I continued my patrol, my eyes scanned the surroundings, searching for any signs of disturbance. That's when I noticed it. A subtle flicker of movement at the corner of my vision. I turned, catching sight of a shadowy figure darting between the trees. Adrenaline surged through my veins as I pursued the enigmatic presence, my heart pounding in my chest. The figure seemed to possess an ethereal grace, gliding effortlessly through the dense foliage. I pushed myself to the limits, determined to uncover the truth behind this mysterious apparition. Yet no matter how fast I ran or how desperately I called out, it always remained a tantalizing step ahead, like a mirage dancing just beyond my reach. Hours turned into an eternity as I chased the elusive figure, my determination eclipsing any thoughts of fatigue or self-preservation. Eventually, I found myself in a secluded clearing, bathed in the soft hues of the setting sun. The figure came to a halt, its form gradually solidifying before my bewildered eyes. Before me stood a creature unlike anything I had ever encountered. It possessed a radiant aura, as if the very essence of nature had woven itself into its being. Its eyes shimmered with wisdom and ancient knowledge, peering into the depths of my soul. I felt a profound connection, as if this creature held the answers to the mysteries that had plagued me for so long. As we stood in that sacred moment, a voice echoed in my mind, gentle yet commanding. It revealed to me the interconnectedness of all things, the invisible threads that bind us to the world around us. It spoke of the delicate balance between the seen and the unseen, the known and the unknowable. It was a revelation that shattered my understanding of the world, yet simultaneously filled me with an overwhelming sense of peace. But as quickly as it had appeared, the creature began to fade, its form dissipating like mist in the breeze. Before it vanished completely, a final message lingered in my mind. Share this truth with the world, for it is through understanding that we find harmony. Returning from that profound encounter, my mind swirled with conflicting emotions. I had witnessed something extraordinary, a truth that had the power to transform lives. Yet the weight of secrecy bore down on me, threatening to consume my every waking moment. I knew the risks involved in sharing my experience, the potential consequences for my career as a park ranger. But how could I turn my back on the profound message that had been entrusted to me? And so I find myself here, pouring my heart onto these pages, ready to break free from the chains of silence. The world deserves to know the wonders that lie within Yosemite, the hidden truths that have the power to unite us with the natural world. I can no longer keep this unbelievable incident to myself. For in sharing this story, I hope to ignite a spark of curiosity and inspire others to seek the mysteries that await them in the vast wilderness. That's all for now. However, we extend an invitation, wrapped in the cloak of intrigue, for you to join us as we journey into realms of deliciously spine-chilling exploits. So, if you enjoyed this story and want to hear more like it, please subscribe now. Thanks and see you next time.